Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Jordan here. Today we're going to continue working on our Lego Winter Village. This is the layout that I originally came up with here. It's pretty good. You know, it's got a U-shaped road there. It would have a skating rink in the center with a large Christmas tree. It's got the track for the tram and then some space for some buildings as well, along with a large sidewalk going around that road there. Now, I like this layout, but I think it's just a bit too basic, a bit too flat. So I have had some time to think about what we can do here to try and improve the layout. And I think I've come up with a pretty good idea that involves a raised platform. So today I'm pretty much going to be destroying this entire thing and rebuilding it with a new layout. Pretty typical for me, isn't it? Yeah, that's pretty much standard here in the Lego room. Now, not too long ago when I was working on the Lego City, I decided to shorten our raised platform and I removed one of the segments there that went behind the loop coaster. And that segment is right here beside Santa Claus. It is 1.5 base plates deep and 4 base plates wide. So I could technically fit this platform on the back corner of our winter village there to give us some raised ground. Very quickly, within a couple minutes, I'm able to take apart the old winter village there and essentially start from scratch. This raised platform is probably too tall. Like, that's pretty tall. It looks pretty outrageous for such a small surface to have such a big, drastic raised platform. Might be a bit too much. Now, I could go the Lego route, build this platform using Lego. The reason I want to go with wood is because I don't have any large 16 by 16 white plates to build a platform with. So when using smaller plates, I think there's going to be too many support structures underneath, that being like 2x4 brick and stuff like that. And the issue with that is I want to build a cave for the skating rink. And when I look into said cave, I don't want to see like all these pillars of support. You know what I mean? I'd rather have a nice clean cave so the skating rink can go in there. And then when you look inside, it just looks really clean. So that's why I'm going to go with wood. However, I think I need to whip out my miter saw and shorten those legs because that's just a bit too aggressive. So I'm thinking this platform should be 2 or maybe even 3 of these rock panels tall. I'm sort of leaning toward 2 because then if it's this tall, it's more manageable. So now what I got to do is take the measurement of this wood here and the legs and make sure that those two added up matches up with our 2 rock panels and our mills plate tall. So there we go, 4¼ inches, cut 4 of them there. Luckily for me, I've got lots of spare wood, so I didn't have to cut these legs here. That way, if I ever wanted to make any more modifications or additions to this platform, I've still got those legs ready to go, don't have to waste them. In fact, I was thinking about that the other day. I could extend that platform like out this way. That might look cool. Just get some more dimension to the platform, have a little bit more raised space here in the Lego City. I could branch off in different directions off that platform, but let's not talk about that yet. Okay, sounds good. So there we go, I think that works. It's pretty much the perfect height, spot on, I would say. Just saves me a lot of Lego, that's for sure. Like hundreds of dollars worth of Lego, I think. Perfect. All right, so now I can start constructing a new layout. That's exciting. So I've pretty much got to reconstruct everything because the base plate dimensions that I had prior to this no longer work out. As you can see, using 2 base plates right there overhangs a little bit. So ideally, I would switch that to the larger gray base plates, which I also have to use up top here as well. Now you can see the platform that I have is from the old Lego City layout, right? So it's not spanning edge to edge, unfortunately. If it spanned edge to edge, I could probably just run a road all the way through. But now I've got to think, where am I going to put the road? Do I need to replace the platform? Does it look cool like this? Because I can have the covering sort of wrap around and have a little scene over here. So there's just so many different things to think about when you're building stuff like this, especially when you're trying to integrate something new like a raised platform. I mean, I could scrap the roads altogether, but then I've got the tram too. It's like, where's the tram going to go? How am I going to operate that? I could also center this platform and then just have some rock edges on either side. So it's sort of like built up on either side, or I can have it off to the side like it is now. So there's just lots of different things to think about with this new layout. And I keep changing my mind back and forth. I know for sure I want to have elevation, and I'm just sort of walking through that process right now with you. I think this is the layout that I'm going to run with. I promise. Actually, maybe I don't promise. It might change again. You never know. But once we get this platform blend in there, it's actually going to look pretty sick, right? I'm pretty excited about that. Also, I've got a new plan for the road and for the train track, which is going to make it look pretty legit and not take up a bunch of space. I have a bunch of work to do now, like tons. We need to build road. We need to do some mill split work. We need to reintegrate train tracks, sidewalk, and the cliff edge, which is going to be the most part intensive thing ever. But I'm still running with that basic idea of having the skating rink in the center with a big tree, but this time there's going to be a little cave that the skating rink will run through and underneath the platform. I think that's going to be super cool. And I'm like really excited about this new layout. Give some elevation, some height changes. Just there's a lot more stuff that we can do with the addition of this platform. I built these 48 by 48 mill plates here, one on either side. And then I built these ones, which are sort of a interesting shape. They are 16 studs by 48 studs long. And you can see I've started tacking down some more of my rock panels there, just to sort of visualize where our cliff edges are going to go and how they sort of transition onto the side of the platform to blend it in nicely. I've also extracted all of my ballast train track. Here a lot of people are asking me, is that custom train track? What is that? No, this is just regular RC track, and it's just ballast. But it doesn't have the tiles on the tops or the sides, so the ties aren't there. So I've got to figure out how I'm going to fit the train track, the road, and the buildings. I think it's just going to be like that there. It makes sense, right? Now, what I have to do is actually start on the bottom. So build this and then work my way to the top, just so I get everything aligned and everything perfect. The hardest part, or the most part-intensive part, is definitely going to be the cliff edges because it's big. It goes all the way around, right? Like that is a lot. So these are the parts that I've extracted from my inventory, the rock panels. Now you can see there's a few different colors, so this is where my concern is. I don't have enough of a single color to do the entire platform. This is the color that I would like to use. This is dark stone gray or dark bluish gray on Bricklink. I have a lot of these. These are the old gray. You see the color difference? Ew, that's gross. But I'm gonna have to use some of those because reality is I don't have enough rock panels. So I have to use some different color combinations. I do have these ones here, which are the dark tan color. I wanna save these for my underwater scene. That's another project that we have on the go, and I want to create a really cool raised area using these in the underwater scene. Now, of course, this is a winter village, so rather than just doing the regular slope detail with all of these slopes here in dark gray, I'm going to have to add a lot of white as well because these cliff edges, or sort of mountain, or whatever you want to call it, is going to have to be snow-capped. Luckily, I have a whole bunch of slopes, I believe, in white, and also some other interesting pieces that should make that look pretty cool. So I'm actually really excited about this rock edge here because it's going to be a lot different than this mountain or the other rock edges that I've created because it's going to be snow capped. This is what I'm sort of thinking for base construction of our cliff edge pre-snow. There's definitely a lot of open studs there available for snow, so I think that's good. I don't know if I want to add my snow detail now or if I want to add snow detail once all of the cliff edges are complete. For example, I'm not sure how these two are going to connect and how I'm going to build this sort of rounded corner here. Now there are the rock panels that actually have curved corners, like this one right here. Unfortunately, I only have one of these, so I can't really use them consistently, but they're a huge help when you're trying to add a curve to a mountain. I've decided to hop onto the next base plate, which is actually the one that will host our skating rink. You can see I've started creating our cave entrance and exit, if you will. Pretty neat, hey? So it is built using a ton of slopes and some bricks that sort of bridge the rock panels. And then on this one over here, I actually have a rock panel that's buried within there. But you can see I've absolutely covered it with slopes, inverted slopes to blend it in quite nicely. And then we have the beginning of our skating rink. We've laid our first trans blue tiles there, and I've also laid all of this plate going around this large 16 by 16 plate here because our plan is to put that new Christmas tree in the center. And this thing is massive. From what I see, it's about 16 by 16 studs on the base of it, and it is super tall. Whoa, like it's huge. It's gonna look great right there and just have all the people skating around it. It's gonna look fantastic. I'm very excited about it. I think the next thing I'm gonna do is just pretty much create our skating rink, just lay all the trans blue tile And then eventually I'm gonna have to blend it in so it's sort of circular with like slopes and stuff like that. And then we have our regular ground up here at just like Mills plate height. And then the skating rink is at 1 plate and 1 tile height. So there's a little bit of depth there, which is nice. I guess as a father of newborn twins, other duties call, and this is all I'm going to be able to get done today. But hey, I think we made some tremendous progress, and I love the new layout. As you can see, I've got my mess cleaned up, and I've been sitting on this stool all day, so it could be a little bit more ergonomical. But hey, it looks pretty good. We've got our skating rink all blent in there. Yes, looking good. It's ready for that Christmas tree, so obviously we'll be building that in the next update, and we'll be placing it there most likely. Some other things that we need to do and some other things that we need to discuss. So the rock edges are not done yet. As you can see into the cave and the rink stops. I'm going to have to build a 32 by 32 base plate module that goes in there that has cave walls. So it blends it all in nicely. And then we'll have to extend that ice into the cave, because obviously I want to have some interior details of the cave. For sure have to do that. Now, some of you are probably wondering what's going on with the train track and the road. It just leaves the platform. It just goes nowhere. I don't really have space to build a circuit of road. So my thought is the train track and the road leave either side. What I'm going to do is build the start of a truss bridge on either side. The truss bridge is leading elsewhere. I think that would be pretty cool if you just have like the opening of a truss bridge. Obviously, before I do that, I have to get all of this rock panel work done. And once again, we will be adding snow detail and slope detail to all of the rock panels. In fact, I think I'm going to add another layer of elevation to this winter village. It's not going to go any higher, but I think I'm going to build separate rock edges that come out for buildings like the Temple of Celebration. And it's not going to be 2 rock panels tall, it's going to be 1 rock panel tall, so that we can get another layer. So you have your top ground layer, then you have the second layer there, and then you have the floor layer. Originally I was thinking maybe I should put Santa's workshop up on a layer, but the thing is like the gingerbread house is pretty tall, so that one might have to go on the next thing. And with that said, I mean, now I'd have to like change all this rock work that I worked so hard on. So I don't know if we're going to do that in this side or on this side, because then I'd have to rip this all apart and have it come out. It is what it is. I mean, it's all fun. It's fun to do. The slopes definitely do get pretty repetitive, as you can imagine. But I can't wait to continue working on this layout. But as I said, that's all I can do today. Let me know what you think of the new direction that we're heading with the winter village. I think it's way better than the previous layout. And I just think there's so much more cool stuff that we can do with the added platform and just the different elevations. I think it already looks not as complete as the old layout, but a lot better. With that said, I guess we have the skating rink, so it's somewhat more complete. I can't wait to get that Christmas tree built in place and continue working. Thank you so much for coming on by. Remember, like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Farewell.